Using MIDI to connect the myTRACKS to the Blipblox and make a live performance. First, let's get everything set up. Let's get started by connecting the MIDI out on the myTRACKS to the MIDI in on the Blipblox. I'm using this adorable Blipblox MIDI cable. If the built-in sequencer is activated on the Blipblox like this, while holding down the filter mod button, press the SEQ button to turn it off. Okay, there we go. Using this MIDI cable, you can send information or data from the myTRACKS into the Blipblox. And we're going to use it to send certain notes on each one of these tracks from the myTRACKS to the Blipblox. Click on the MIDI button to choose which track you'd like to send MIDI data from. I'm going to choose this third track right here. This means whatever notes I play on the myTRACKS will actually be played back on the Blipblox. So I'm going to turn my Blipblox down first, so you're not hearing it at all. Then I'm going to use the volume knob on track 3 on the myTRACKS to turn up the built-in sounds on this track. It sounds like this. Remember, if you don't want to hear the delay, just click the effects button until there's no color here. Okay. Now, instead of playing back those sounds on the myTRACKS, I'm going to turn all the volume down here and turn up the volume on the Blipblox. You can hear each one of the individual notes I play on these pads on track 3, but hear it with the sound of the Blipblox. So any changes I make on the Blipblox will be reflected as well in terms of the sound. Let's do the same thing in clip mode. Click the mode button until it turns blue. And I'm going to choose a clip on track 3 to send MIDI data into the Blipblox. So instead of individual notes, we'll be hearing a melody played back from the myTRACKS to the Blipblox. So first, let's turn the Blipblox down again, and I'm going to turn up the volume of the built-in sounds on the myTRACKS. This is what it sounds like if I press play. Turn it down just to hear our beat. And turn up the Blipblox. Change a little bit of the sound. So if we change whichever clip that we're using in clip mode, it will change the melody that's being sent and played back on the Blipblox. If I keep pressing the MIDI button, you'll see that I can illuminate all 4 tracks at once. Then I can use all of these pads on these 4 tracks to play back notes on the Blipblox. First, I'm going to turn down the volumes of all of these tracks just so we can hear everything being played back here. Change octaves by holding down the instrument button. And since we're using MIDI with the myTRACKS, we don't actually have to use a Blipblox. We can use any device that has MIDI in. So let's try it using my Dave Smith Mofo. So now I'm going to connect the MIDI cable to the MIDI in on my Dave Smith Mofo. Let's play. Let's try another sound. And another. Ooh, I like that. Let's go back into clip mode. Remember that our MIDI is set up in this mode using all 4 of these tracks to send notes. Let's click the MIDI button again to choose another track to send MIDI to our MoFo. I'm going to use track 3, and let's hear what it sounds like. We can change some sounds. I love that. All right, let's jam. Now it's time for you to experiment.